Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mason Fecht. Today I'm going to be recording a video on my scanners. I will take you step by step through the entire process. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to show you exactly, all the different criteria I use for each scanner, and we're going to go through 4 separate scans that I use. I use a listed intraday scan. And by the way, this is all going to be done on stocks to trade, but you can definitely use these scans on any other trading platform. But yeah, I just use stocks to trade. So if you have stocks to trade, it's going to be easier to follow along. Otherwise, you'll still be able to do everything. But anyway, so I have 4 different scanners. I have a listed intraday scan, which shows me the big movers throughout the day. I also have a listed nightly scan, an OTC scan, and then a lower float listed scan where basically I catch momentum before it happens. That's the objective of that scan. And so I'll show you that one as well. And then I always have top percent gainers pulled up on stocks to trade, but all of my scans generally pick up what I'm looking for. So I'll occasionally look at the top percent gainers, but I generally just look at my scans. But anyway, let's go ahead and go through this. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to build is the listed intraday scan. So we'll start from scratch, and we're going to create you get a screener. So I'm going to go back. You'll see on my screen here I have my screeners already pulled up. I'll just go back and glance at those just to see the exact criteria I have set up. But I don't want to just lay out the data for you. I'm trying to make this very easy for you. And I'm going to show you step by step so there's no confusion on how to set everything up. So if you see me switching back and forth, that's just because I want to make sure I have all the exact same criteria. But I'm going to walk you through it. So as I said, first we're going to start with the listed intraday scan. So the first thing we're going to do is go to price data. And let me make sure I got this right. So we got dollar volume, percent change last. Okay. So we'll go to percent change first. I have it set at greater than or equal to 9%. And by the way, most of these scans, except for my low float momentum scan, I basically just got from Tim Grattani. I just made a few revisions to it so that it suits my trading a little bit better. But this isn't anything special. This is a very simple process on setting up a scan. There's nothing really special about this. All right, so we have the percent change set in there, greater than or equal to 9. The reason I have 9 is because anything that's below 9% I'm not interested in because the market's not really interested in it. People pay attention to the stocks that are up the most. And generally, anything that's up above 9 or 10% and even generally, like, we want stuff that's up like 20, 30, 40, 50%. But occasionally there will be something that's really interesting that's only up like 11 or 12%. But if you're looking at stocks that are up less than 9%, they're not very volatile. And as a trader, you need volatility to make money. That's how you make a living in this industry. And as I already kind of mentioned, if the stock's not up much, people's eyes are not on it, which means that it will not bring in buyers and sellers. It will not bring in participants. So we'll move to the next thing. So we did the percent change. Next we're going to go back to price data and price last. So I have that at less than or equal to $15. and dollar volume, which I believe is under liquidity. Yeah. So dollar volume and greater than or equal to 3 million. So you want to click on days dollar volume and then greater than or equal to 3 million. All right, so next thing we're going to go to is, I don't really care about any of this stuff. Because it's listed, you want to go to this middle tab here, or whatever platform you're using. Because we're only looking at listed stocks, you want to make sure to uncheck OTC bulletin boards and OTC markets, because we want this scan is specifically for listed stocks. And whenever you're trading, I find it extremely helpful to have things very organized. So I want to keep listed separate from OTCs. And you can do it any way you want to, but that's how I do it. So the next tab I keep all of these checked for all the sectors. Nothing to do with my watch list. Okay, so this one, stock types. This is important. So we're going to uncheck a lot of these. The only ones I'm interested in, foreign tickers, yes. Not A. Regular securities, yes. Not C. Not B. Not N. Not M. Not P. Not O. Not I. Not H. Not K. Not J. Not V. Not U, not Y, not warrants, so not W, not R. Yes to bankruptcy stocks, although you're pretty much only going to see those on the OTC market. Not T, not S, not others, not ETFs, not Z or L, indexes, ETNs, and yes to E, delinquent, and yes to new issues, which is D. So that is everything for the listed intraday scan. So usually after about maybe 10-15 minutes into the market open, or even kind of right at the market open, I'll switch from looking at the top. So really I only use the top percent gainers during pre-market, and then once the market actually opens, that's whenever I turn this scan on. But I don't really look at it until midday or late in the morning and then into the afternoon. So I'm not going to save this because obviously I already have it built in. So we're going to move on to the next one, which will be the OTC scan. And I use the same one for intraday and night. So we'll start from scratch again. Go to screener and we're going to start a new one. So price data, we'll start with price data. So we want price, we want last to be greater than or equal to a penny. I'll just confirm that, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. So greater than or equal to a penny, and less than, so we want to click last again, and we want it to be less than or equal to $10. And I choose that because pretty much all the OTC plays I'm interested in are never greater than $10. There has been hey, sorry, excuse me. Hey, Fick, lay down. Hey, lay down. Sorry about that, guys. I think somebody just got to my house and I'm watching my brother's dog right now and he just overreacted. So apologize about that. And if it happens again during this video, once again, I'm sorry about that. He's actually been in most of my videos sitting in the background very quietly. So, yeah, I guess he's bound to have an accident one time or another. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me for just 1 second. Hey, lay down, please. Lay down. Lay down. That's funny. Okay. So let's move on to the next thing. So we got last, greater than or equal to a penny, or less than or equal to $10. I think I was saying there's only been a handful of times that I've ever been interested in OTC that was above $10, but pretty much all OTC plays are under $10. And usually they're under like 5. But we'll move on to the next thing. So got the last. We'll move to percent change. I do greater than or equal to 3%. So OTCs generally don't get as volatile as listed stocks, so I keep the percent much lower. Okay, so we got that. And then next we have, I think, trades. So trades, that's going to be under liquidity as well as dollar volume. So I went days trades, and I have it set at greater than or equal to 300. So the reason I do that is because sometimes there will be a stock that like will meet all these other criteria that I have set out, but it could have just been like one or two big buyers that caused the volatility or caused the stock to be up, and you want a minimum number of trades. Like you want several trades to have been taken on the stock because of liquidity issues, Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just a little distracted with the dog back there. Once again, I apologize. But this is my life, so. Next, we have dollar volume, I believe. Yeah, so dollar volume, we want to set it to greater than or equal to $200,000. All right, so that's everything for the parameters. And now we're going to move on to, because this is an OTC specific scan, we want to uncheck NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, and AMEX because those are all listed markets. We're going to keep all the sectors checked. We don't need to worry about that. And then lastly, we're going to go to the stock types, and it's going to be the exact same thing as the previous one. We're going to do a lot of unchecking. So we are only going to leave foreign issues. We're only going to leave foreign issues, regular securities, bankruptcy, and delinquent and new issues. Those are the only securities we're going to leave. So that is everything for my OTC scan. And like I said, I use that for intraday and for nightly. It doesn't change. And once again, I'm not going to save it. Now we're going to switch over to the listed nightly scan. And I'm pretty sure this one might be like almost the exact same as Tim Gratani's. I'm not sure, and I'm not completely sure, but I probably made some slight adjustments. So we'll start with price data. We're going to do price last. It's going to be greater than or equal to 5 cents. And we're going to do last again, and it's going to be less than or equal to, I believe, $20. Yes, 20. We're going to go to percent change, and want it to be greater than or equal to 15%. The reason I do a little bit more for the nightly scan is because, first of all, I'm watching the market throughout the day generally. Although the past couple months have been less active. But I'm generally watching the market throughout the day, so I already know, everything. By the end of the market day, I know what's going to pretty much go on my watch list. But this scan is especially helpful for, if I step away for the day and I come back at night to prepare my watch list for the next day. My listed intraday scan that I showed you earlier generally has quite a bit of tickers. And by upping the percentage to 15% on this one, it cuts a lot of them out. And it really helps the process become much simpler and quicker. So that's a reason that I move it to 15%. And I'm really just looking for the stocks that are at night. I'm looking for stocks that were up a ton to begin with. So we got percent change. Now we go move to the liquidity tab. And we're going to do dollar volume, days dollar volume. And we have it set for greater than or equal to 3 million. And lastly, we're going to go to liquidity again, and we're going to do trades, days trades, and we have it set to over 3,000. So greater than or equal to 3,000. Okay, so then we're going to not worry about Catalyst. We are going to uncheck the OTC markets because it is a listed scan. We're not going to worry about sectors. We want to keep all of them checked. We're not going to worry about that. And lastly, we will go to the stock types again, and we are only going to keep foreign issued, regular securities, bankruptcy, and delinquent and new issued. And that's everything for my listed nightly scan. And then lastly, here's the special one. So this is my low float momentum scan. This is specifically for listed stocks. I run this throughout the day, but I usually only look at it in the morning time, like first 30 minutes to an hour and a half. And occasionally I'll check in on it midday. Occasionally I'll check in on it in the afternoon. But generally speaking, what I'm looking for from this scan is to catch lower float momentum plays before the big volume comes in, which is why it's very important in the morning. That's why I generally use it in the morning. So we will start building a new screener. We're going to go to price data. And we will start with last. So I want it less than $10. So price last less than 10. Because it's hard for stocks. Generally with this scan as well, I'm looking for stocks that are probably between like $1 and $4 or $5. Like there have been a couple that I've purchased that have been a little bit above that, but I'm not interested in anything above $10 for this specific scan. Next we have percent change. Which I have set to greater than or equal to 9%. And next we'll go to the liquidity tab, dollar volume, days dollar volume. So there's two criteria to this. I have less than, well first I have greater than or equal to 100,000. And then I have less than or equal to 3 million. because I'm trying to catch, as I've said, with this scan, I'm trying to catch momentum before it happens. And I don't want tickers appearing on multiple scans. So I have this set to less than 3 million because by the time it's traded over $3 million volume, too many eyes are on it, and by then it started to get momentum. Like, people are now aware that this stock is running, and it'll appear on my listed intraday scan that I showed you previously in this video. So that's why I have that criteria set up that way. And then the last parameter is float. And I have the float set to less than 30 million, but generally I'm looking for stocks that are even much lower in float than that. But that's basically my cutoff. So that looks like everything for the parameters. Now, once again, same thing. We want to go uncheck the OTC markets, and we want to come over here, and we are only going to leave foreign issued stocks, regular securities, bankruptcy, delinquent, and new issued. So hope you guys got all of that down. So that's everything for my scanners. As I said, I only run 4 scans. I explained earlier in the video when I use each one. I'll quickly go over it again. So I have a listed intraday scan. I have which I use throughout the day. I basically turn that one on once the market opens. I have I have an OTC intraday scan that I also use for my nightly scan, and then I have a listed nightly scan, which basically comes in handy when I kind of miss market time and stuff, and I can check in later at night and see what the big runners were. And then I have my low float momentum scan specifically for listed stocks that I use to help me catch potential plays before they have big moves. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. This is a topic that a lot of people have been requesting because I've gone over my watch list building, and you guys have been asking, what are the scans that I have set up. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know either on Twitter or under the YouTube video below if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. If you're new and you don't know exactly who I am, follow me on Twitter, where I post free watch lists every single day, no strings attached. And yeah, well, hope you guys have a great night and a prosperous trading day tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow's tax day, so hopefully you've all dealt with that. I did, and God, that was not fun at all. Having to take money out of my trading account, especially because I had a really good year this past year. Not a fan of these taxes. But anyway, guys, hope you have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you soon, and I will have more content up as well. So take care.